Uh, rum, uh, rum, um, so basically, just a little background information. Just a little background information. So I'm starting my podcast, uh, vlog, whatever you want to call it. All that's going to be starting shortly. But since I want to do it the way that I want to do it, that means a whole lot of stuff needs to get done. So really, all of this is just like ways for me to work out the kinks of the stuff that I need to work out. So yeah, that's what this is. All these are, I guess you can say, these are test shows, but they still count in my opinion. I mean, it's just a matter of working out the bugs. So as you all can see, the title of this one is "Why Are Adult Black Women Single and Angry?" Why are they so angry? First of all, let's start with the fact of why there's a whole bunch of them single. We're gonna start with that. I wish, what I would love if it was a whole bunch of women to, hey, y'all go and y'all talk up and tell me what is it that y'all think is the issue. Because I'm gonna give you this from a man's perspective. From a man's perspective, a man who dates women, and from a man, I swear to God, who's on the verge of not date black women no more. It's just about to be like, you know what? Y'all can have it. Y'all enjoy yourselves. I'm moving on to greener pastures. Moving on to greener pastures. I would love to know what exactly you all's things are. But first, I'll give you basically my position. Y'all tell me if it's wrong, if it's right, if you think, oh no, this dude's crazy. Why would you say such a thing? Okay, here's my position now. My position is as such. Ladies, your quote unquote standards that you have for men, potential suitors, potential mates, spouses, and such, it's asinine. It's completely unrealistic. Completely and utterly. Completely and utterly. So, I'll be talking about specifically what those are later on. But right now, I'm just going to tell you that they're fucking crazy. It's childish. It's laughable. Honestly. So much so, to you all are shooting yourselves in the foot. Black women. Remember, I only talk about black issues. So black women, y'all shooting yourselves in the foot with your quote unquote standards, preferences, things you like, whatever. Now, I'm sure that y'all thinking to yourselves, well, what about men? Men are superficial in what they want. Men are superficial in how they want it. Men are superficial. We're not talking about damn men right now. I'll be talking about men. But this is not an issue where men have a problem. This is actually one of the issues where men are doing quite well. Men are rather realistic. We have been for fucking years. Men are very realistic in what it is that we want, where what it is that we want, what it is we can get, the options that we have, things that we need to do in order to achieve and get what it is that we want. So, as it relates to a man, what does a man want in a woman? Overall, by and large, I'm not talking about specific men. I'm not talking about specific women. I'm talking about the group as a whole, black community as a whole, right? I can't sit here and talk to you about all 14 million of us. I don't even know all 14 million of us. So that would be stupid for me to even attempt to do. What I can talk to you about is about the polls that black people fill out. I can tell you about the things that men say to other men and say to other women. It's just women, by and large, you aren't really listening. Like, history bears this out. The present bears this out. Women, you just don't listen to what it is that men say when we say, this is what I want in a mate. This is what I want in a potential mate. This is what I want in a suitor. This is what I want. Right? By and large, men, the number one thing that brothers want, only talking about black men, I'll let y'all guess. What do y'all think the number one thing is? I should have did a poll for this before. What do y'all think number one thing is that brothers want, black men want in a potential spouse? Now, I'm not talking about the nigga who fucked you and moved on. Right? I don't think I need to. I hate to have to give the disclaimer, but we not talking about ain't shit dudes and ain't shit women. I don't think I even need to go into that too deeply. Like, that's just not what we discussing. We discussing, by and large, people, average people. They not on no bullshit. They just want a good old fashioned life with someone. Men. Number one thing, number two things that men want, black men. Black men want women who are in shape and black women who act like women, meaning they want them to be feminine and they want them to act in that feminine way. Does that mean act in your role? No. It just means that they don't want this idea, this notion of alpha female, that retarded notion. They don't want that. They don't want that in their household, which makes perfect sense, right? Don't know. Do you women? You say yourselves all the time, there's gonna be one queen in this house. So if you got daughters, hey, there's one queen in this house. The rest of y'all are princesses. But goddamn it, it's one fucking queen. Okay, well, if we're gonna take that analogy and extrapolate it all the way out to its natural conclusion, cool. There's only one motherfucking king. Don't make a difference how many princesses and queens and duchesses and dukes and barons. There's one fucking king. Guys, they're not falling for the okie doke no more. Again, I'm talking by and large, and I'm talking in groups, large groups, massive groups, specifically the entire group of black people, black community. So, how exactly does that translate to why dope black women are single and angry? Easy. As I stated before, the preferences, the standards that you women have, it's asinine. It's crazy. So what you see up there on in that flyer that I made, it just said, what it just says, I'm getting old because I can't even see that from my hair. Says he needs ambition. I'm leveling up. I won't settle. I'm not dating down. Concepts and stuff that we've all heard. We, as in men, have all heard for years. I've heard all of those, as has any other man who's been alive the same amount of time that I've been or longer. You've heard all of this, right? One, can you get with a man who makes $50,000 a year? First of all, that a woman will give you the they'll give you the hee-haw. They'll hem and they'll ha about it. And then if they say yes, which nowadays isn't really a guarantee, they'll give you the, yeah, I can date him if he's making 50, but he got to have ambition. What does ambition mean? Explain exactly what an ambition means. Because basically, let's just translate that. Translate what she just said. If she's saying that he needs to have ambition, what you're saying is that, okay, I'll accept that he makes that particular amount of money now, but he needs to make more than that in the future because his bank account is directly linked to how much you desire him. Right? The damn near the totality of this guy has been broken down to his wallet, and as I said before, his dick. Next is I'm leveling it up. Same concept. You can have a good motherfucker. You can have a good dude. The dude that is making the money. The guy that is he's taking your children in. You got 2-3 kids from a ex-husband or just ex or exes with an S. Women, you should really think about why that's just not why. No, guys are not running to jump in line to be a stepdaddy. That's not a thing. But anyway, that's not the point, right? That's not what we're talking about today. The whole leveling up. You got somebody who's good, but whatever area you aren't happy with, or you aren't satisfied with, or you feel that needs improvement, you feel that you can't either push him to do better in that area, or simply just accept that he is not going to be better in that area. If the area is your guy makes 50, but you want him to make 75, or you want him to make 150, or you want him to make $1 million. In all likelihood, it's just not going to happen. All likelihood, whatever your guy makes, that's what the hell he's going to make. In all likelihood, whatever the hell you make, it's pretty much where you're going to be. Right? There's going to be obviously some cost of living raises. There's obviously going to be whatever your business, your company naturally does. Maybe you're rated based off of production of somehow. Maybe you do sales or something like that and you get a percentage. So in that sense, if you work harder, you actually would make more because you're in sales. Or if you're working hourly, clearly you can make more because of your hourly rate. But if you're salary, what you make is basically what you make. That just is what it is. And that's by and large the majority of all of Earth. The majority of all of Earth pretty much make what you make. That just is what it is. Especially once you're talking about you're nearing or you're over 35. You're over 35. You've crossed over 40. That's essentially where you are in life. Doesn't mean it's good or doesn't mean it's bad. That just means that's essentially where you are. Granted, I'm not talking about individuals. So this doesn't mean that because you have one, oh, well, my auntie, she was working as a teacher for the past 15 years. And she said, you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm going to do something else in my second act and I'm going to go to nursing school. Great. That's beautiful. That's a lovely thing for that woman. The majority of people, that is not their story. The majority of people can't, don't, will not engage in that particular activity. It's just not going to happen. Again, there's not even judgment that's assigned with that statement. That's just a matter of fact. This isn't me just making up my own stuff. This is just simply just go to the Google machine. Go to the Google machine and look up the information that you can get from the census, U.S. Census. You'll be surprised what you can get or what information you can get and what you can glean from that particular information and the trends that you can see, which what sociology is looking for. The trends, groups of people tend to do these particular things. Are there outliers? Are there anomalies? Of course. Of course. But for the most part, these are the trends. So, when you have a country where men in the country, excuse me, when you have a country, the United States, where the average salary for black men is $42,000. 42000. $42,000 a year. That kind of fucks up that kind of fucks up the ambition argument of a woman when they say, "Oh, I need you to make fill in the blank," because the average, by definition, is the most. The majority are average, and it shall always be so. Average person is just making $42,000 a year. And, well, I should wait. Hold on for a second, because I made him. I shouldn't even say that. I shouldn't even say it just. But then again, matter of fact, fuck it. I know that's what I said. That's what I meant. Just. It's not a value judgment. It's not a morality judgment. It doesn't mean that you are a piece of shit if you make $42,000 a year. It don't mean that you ain't out there busting your ass if you making $42,000 a year. It doesn't mean that someone who's making 84 is twice as good as you. It doesn't mean that someone who's out there making 168 is 3 times as good. It's not. Wait. That would be 4 times as good as you. Whew, gotta get the math right. That doesn't mean that at all. It simply means the majority of black people make $42,000 a year. By the way, the majority of white people make around $52,000. Just FYI. Why is that important? That's extremely important if we're talking about the number one thing that women are constantly talking about, which is a man's money. Again, this ain't from, "Oh, JT, you're just being you're being sexist, or you're not being fair, you're being chauvinistic, or you aren't taking women at their word, or you're simply just going off anecdotally from the women that you've spoken to." No. Ladies, what you've been saying for years has been documented well. Women have been very vocal about what they want, how they want it, when they want it, who they think should give it to them. Women have been very vocal about all of this. And by and large, the number one deciding factor of whether or not a woman is even slightly interested in this dude and talking about marriage, what you do. And what you do with the implication of how much do you make. Not what do you do to determine whether or not if this is interesting or not. Oh, what? You're an anthropologist? And you spend 4 months of the year in different countries, in Peru or Senegal, wherever, digging up ancient artifacts so we can learn more about civilizations from thousands of years ago. That's interesting as fuck. That's really interesting. But the ultimate question is, how much does that make? Right? So, the number one determining factor for whether or not women, I'm speaking to black women, but that goes to all women. The number one determining factor is whether or not what that person makes. So that's just from the sociology part of it. The other part of it is just look from a social and a cultural standpoint. Look at a point of what women have been saying on talk shows for years. When I say years, I mean since the 80s. Since Oprah and Donahue and the lady with the big red glasses. I don't know her. Is that Sally Jesse Raphael with the big red glasses? I think it was Sally Jesse Raphael with the big red glasses, and Jenny Jones, and what's the other girl who played in Hairspray? Lake. What's her name? Something Lake. Ricky Lake, and every other female-oriented visual medium and audio medium from the songs Ain't nothing going on but the rent. What you gonna do for me? All of that. All of that, right? Unfortunately, you women have tied a man's worth to his wallet, especially his worth determining whether or not he's suitable for marriage. You tie that to his wallet. And in doing so, you shot yourself in the foot. Because when you don't know the numbers of what it is, first of all, making that argument in and of itself is completely silly. But when you don't know the numbers of what it is you're asking for and you're trying to vet for, it gets even worse, because now once you get to the fact that women say, just in case you were wondering, average woman says they want a man who makes over $75,000. That's what the average woman says. Okay. Average woman says they want a man who makes over $75,000. The number of men who make over 70. I'm sorry. The percentage of men who make over 75. I want to be sure I get this number right, because I believe it was 33. But I could be wrong about that. Then again, you should assume that I'm wrong. Go back and fact check me. Don't just take my word for it. I could be lying to you. Assume that I'm lying to you. I'm not, but assume that I am. Go back and check the numbers for yourself. I'm getting this from blackdemographics.com. That's where I'm getting this from. If you want to know where blackdemographics.com gets their information from, it depends on exactly what it is that you want to know. But for them, a lot of what they get is from the U.S. Census, specifically household income. Specifically, I'm waiting for this to come up so I can be sure that this is citing. Yep, this is citing the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Census Bureau, American Community Survey, blah-de-dolly-d. Source is 2019, blah, blah, blah. Therefore, the source was 2019. Because it's 2019, it gives you the information from 2018. So you can always make the argument that that's from 3 years ago. I'll give you some arrows in your quiver for you to shoot. So I just gave you one. Oh, that's from 3 years ago. Cool. Take that out. All right. Whatever. You can get the information from more recent if you so desire. I doubt it very seriously, considering just the general laziness of people. But just in case you're wondering, the specific amount black median income is $41,361. Black median household income. Of all of the races, the median income is $63,179. So black people, specifically black men, are $22,000 less, or making roughly $22,000 less on average than all other races in regards to yearly income. And even when factoring in the yearly income of all races, $63,179, that still is roughly $12,000 short of what black women are saying that they want. Do we see the disconnect? Do you understand what the disconnect is now? If you're saying that, I want a man, he got to be making at least 75 and up. Okay, cool. That's what you want. For whatever reason, that's what you want. All right, fine. That's what you want. Understand then what you're asking for by the numbers. Hold on. Let me get to the percentage. The number of men making, this gives it from 50,000 to 150,000. So it gives it slightly lower than what you want. But 50,000 to 150,000 is 36%. 36%. And you have to know that the second you get into the 75,000 range per year, that number drops significantly from 36%. Well, why is that important? So very glad you asked. The reason why that's important is because if you start off with 100 men and you say, if you're not making 75,000 or more, please exit left. Cool. You're more than welcome to do that. Go ahead and do that. That's what you want. Those are your wishes. Okay? I think it's silly. But hey, this is your life. When you have those 36 men left, you now have to understand how life still works. Because of those 36, we never accounted for gay guys. That's going to take that 36 down, isn't it? Of those 36, we never accounted for married guys. Guys in a relationship. Guys who don't fucking think you're attractive or who don't want your ass. Don't just assume just because that this guy is here that he automatically wants you. The fuck? That's not a thing. So that 36 gets whittled down real fucking quick. Now, take into account that there are more women than men. It's more y'all than us. So just by sheer numbers, since there are more women than men, the men have more options. I don't think that takes a lot of explanation. There's more of you. There's less over here. The lesser get to be picky because it's more. Right? Okay. So now that we get that, we still have to deal with the problem or the fact that women don't choose in marriage. Men do. Men are the one that say, "Will you marry me?" By and large, in America, men are the ones who do it. I don't want to hear no shit about your fucking auntie or, well, back in this one time, I remember reading a book about this. Shut the fuck up. Men in this motherfucking country, by and large, over fucking whelmingly, choose the goddamn woman for marriage. Men choose the woman for fucking relationships. Women don't choose goddamn relationships. That's not what the fuck you do. Guys determine if we're going to be in a relationship. That's what men do. Men determines, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and make this exclusive and all the rest of that good stuff, blah, blah, blah. Women, you control our access to the ill-na-na. You determine whether or not we going to get that stanky monkey. That's what y'all determine. We have the back end. We get to determine whether or not you going to decide. Whether or not if we going to say, you know what, I am going to marry you. So, again, here's where you're shooting yourself in the foot. If you've already told those 64 guys to leave the room, you cannot then go back to those 64 guys and then be like, oh, hey, you know what? Funny thing. So I was in the room, but then I told y'all to leave, but then, I really wasn't feeling them in there, so I changed my mind, and now all 64 of you guys, I get to choose one of you. It's not a thing, because guys are not going for that shit no more. Guys are saying no. Now, again, I'm going to keep repeating this part, because I don't want nobody to think that I'm just talking about my fucking self. This ain't talking about me. First of all, I don't even fall. That's not important. The guys aren't even going to, aren't taking the shit no more. This ain't coming from JT. This is coming from the men of fucking today. They are not taking it no more. The guys, the same guys for years, women that you've been saying, you know what? If you're not going to make this amount of money, if you're not going to make 75,000, if you don't make 100,000, if you don't make $1 million, if you're not an NBA player, if you're not this, that, and other, then I'm not going to settle for you. See, like I got up there on that little part, it says I won't settle, leveling up. I'm not dating down. If you have that portion on in your mind, you got your criteria that says, I'm not going to be dealing with this dude. What? You don't make $200,000 a year? Psh, X, boom. Okay. What? I'm not going to be dealing with this dude. You ain't driving a McLaren? Fuck out of here. Okay. So what happened with guys? Guys said, you know what? This is what we're going to do. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to get my shit together. I'm going to do what I can to go kick ass in this world, make something out of myself and do the best that I can, and make this money so that I can be attractive to these women. When I say attractive to these women, I mean financially attractive, because that's what women are attracted to, right? Women attract to fucking the money and the security and the support and blah, blah, blah. Don't get mad with me. Be mad with fucking psychology. I don't feel like arguing every goddamn point with you motherfuckers. So they don't feel like doing this shit no more. So what happens is then the guys who make it to that level of prestige, I'll let you define what that level is for yourself. For some women, it may be 50. For some women, it may be 75. Others, it may be 350. Others, it may be, I don't know. You determine what that is for yourself. But the point is still the same. Whatever level of man that you determine this is the cream of the crop, in so doing, you've also determined this is the fucking chaff. Right? You got the wheat and you got the chaff, and then you take the wheat away, and then, no, none of us were raised in a fucking country, so I don't even know why I use that analogy. Okay, fine, fuck it. You got, these are the high price luxury items over here. This shit over here, you women have labeled as not even good enough. It's bargain basement. It ain't shit. Oh, girl, if he ain't making this motherfucker ain't shit. Why would you date a motherfucker who's making $35,000? Okay. So now here comes the problem. When you women get older and you realize that the guys who are over here, the ones that you yourself has placed as cream of the crop, the ones that you have placed at the top of the pedestal, the ones that you yourself have determined to be the most awesome of all of the things in the world, once you get to that point and you realize these motherfuckers don't want you, they don't want your ass. No. Oh, they gonna fuck? Yeah, we'll fuck. My man gonna turn down some head. Well, that's just un-American. That, ain't nobody going around doing. No red-blooded American male has ever turned down motherfucking head just for the asking. No, that's fucking rude. You don't do that. Who am I to turn down what this woman is deciding to bless me with? This is a God-given gift. I at least have a duty to determine whether or not if she's good at it. I may have to give her pointers, is what I'm saying. So, you going to find Mr. Husband and Mr. Prince, because Meghan Markle. That's funny. That's a whole different subject. Anyway, but you want the prince or whatever, but the prince don't want you. Prince gonna fuck. That's about it. Now you got to come back to all of these guys who you turned down. All of these guys who you said they wasn't shit. Why weren't they shit? Not because of their character. It ain't got shit to do with their character. It's because you wanted to check out of the life game and not work no more. So he needed to make a certain amount of money so that you can be comfortable for you and your motherfucking kids. Yeah, I'm gonna keep bringing up kids because I'm gonna keep bringing up motherfucking kids. That was important to you. But here's the problem, ladies. The information is in. Brothers are talking. The brothers, it's 2021. And the same way that you women feel liberated, and the same way that you women have determined that I can do bad all by myself, men have done the exact same thing. By and large. Now, I'm going to keep reiterating this point. I'm not talking about Johnny Strap. I'm not talking about the people that I know specifically. I am talking about men in general. Again, I only talk about black people, so I don't give a fuck about what everybody else's problems. Men in general, black men in general, have been saying, you know what? We are fucking done. Go after poll after poll, article after article, survey after survey, and in the fucking census. It can be extrapolated from the information that you get by fucking marriages. Men are no longer saying, you know what, I guess I'll go ahead and get with Keisha, Charlene, or any other fucking old name that you want to throw out there. Why aren't they saying that no more? Because women, you've already determined, oh, this dude ain't shit. So the men are like, okay, cool. If you don't respect my little 45,000, you don't respect my little 75,000, you don't respect my little whatever contribution, okay, cool. You go ahead and you go and be by yourself, and we'll be by ourselves. Real simple, real easy. Everybody's happy. That's a fucking problem. That's a very big, did I say very? That is a very big problem, because if the cornerstone of community is the family, and we no longer have families, that's a problem. That, women, black women, is your fault. That part is your fucking fault. I don't want to hear shit about, oh no, Johnny, no. What about when the men got I'm not talking about the guys right now. I'm talking about the women. I'm talking about specifically what exactly is it that you have been doing. How you know how you don't fix problems? This is how precisely not to fix a problem. When the problem comes up and you talk about what everybody else has done to contribute to the goddamn problem. Yeah, that's important in the beginning, in the initial assessment of everything, but cool. At some point, you have to say, got it, I can only fix that which I can control. Women, you don't control men. There is an argument to say that you do control boys, and the boys that you and the boys that you've raised to be the men of today are precisely the men that you say you don't want. There is an argument to say that that's clearly in your account. But I'm not even about to make that argument right now. Only thing that I'm saying is that specifically your expectations, your preferences, and your wants, your quote unquote needs are silly. Just basically silly. They're silly. Not only are they silly for you, but for years you've been taking that same horrible, what I said before, if there's toxic masculinity, yeah, conversely, there is fucking toxic femininity. This falls directly under the purview of toxic femininity. This is exactly what that is. Women telling women that, oh girl, what's most important is that your man have a job that makes a certain amount of money. That can be that is just horribleness. Horribleness. Nothing is more telling that a woman comes from just a messed up home, or how about the fact, now I'll recant that and say that she herself is broken, than for that message to be constantly pushed by so many women. Nothing says that black women are goddamn fucking broken by and large than that same thing that narrative they've been pushing for years of the guy has to have so much money, blah, blah, blah. How do I know that? Your great granddaddy didn't have a bunch of money. And I am accounting for inflation. I am accounting for, what did I say, your great granddaddy? So I'm accounting for $1,900 in compared to $2021. That guy didn't have that much money. Your granddaddy, he didn't have a whole bunch of money. By and large. I know that some of your granddaddies, man, my granddaddy was this and that, and my granddaddy built this, and my granddaddy invented that, and my granddaddy owned a whole block of 3 flats, and my granddaddy had 3 or 4 laundromats, and he had 2 barbershops, and he had an arcade. I get that. That was not the experience for most black people. I'm talking about black people as a swath. I can't talk about individuals because that's extremely anecdotal. You don't get anything from anecdotal evidence. You just get nice stories. You can't fix the group off the stories of a few. That's okay. It's all right. I'm here to teach too. I'm here to teach. So the problem comes when you talk about all these guys now have to make so much money in order for me to get with them. That's not how if your parents were together, if your grandparents were together, if your grandparents were together, and back and forth and forth and forth for generations and generations and generations and millennia, you start to become, you come across the problem. You come across the big problem. Once you start talking about the modern era, I'm defining modern era as in within the past 100 years, you have a very big problem. He has to at least have the drive. Define what has the drive means. Kiki, thank you for commenting. Define what has the drive means. The reason I'm saying define what has the drive mean, because I said earlier, the top thing on that photo with that young lady that I crossed out, it says he needs to have ambition, right? So the majority of Americans, let me pull this back up. The average household income for a black man is $41,361. I'm not going to make a judgment as to whether or not that's good, that's bad, like, oh, that's it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm simply making a statement. It's 41,000. I'm going to call it 42 just for simple math. Okay. Yeah, so if the average person is making 42,000, we can't it's horrible to shit on somebody and say, "Oh, you ain't shit." Cause they not making 50 like you, or they not making 100 like you, or they're not making whatever like you. That's just wrong. I'm not talking about you specifically, Kiki. I'm talking about in general. Just in general, that ain't cool. That ain't cool. Like, just think about that for a second. Think about whatever man that was in your life. It could have been your father. Okay, let me be very clear about this. I'm not talking about the man who was trying to fuck you, okay? I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about whatever man in your life that was responsible for imparting crucial adult information into you. The person who you look to, you know what? Hey, that's the way I look at it. His 42 and your 42 make 84. So y'all sitting good, especially considering that the average family income for a married couple income for all families is 88,315. So let's just call it 88,000. But the average median income for a black family, 74,878. We just gonna call it 75 for easy math. So y'all doing better. Y'all are winning. Y'all 4,000 off of the excuse me. 4,000 off of the national average of all people, and you're well over 10,000 in regards to black families. So you're doing well. But unfortunately, that's just not how. But that's just not how people see it. Now, when it comes to what individuals want, I don't know. I'm not even gonna play the game of is 84 enough? Is 42 enough? Is 150 enough? That is a very individual thing. That is a very specific to you and your guy. How many kids y'all got? Where are you living? What are you? That's so many things going to that. But I'm saying it's possible. Making a determination that someone is not good enough for you to be with based on how much money they make is killing our community. It is killing our community. Those ladies that think like that are living in the Stone Ages. I think they are. Well, I wouldn't even say that they living in the Stone Age, because the problem with that. Okay, because if they was living in the Stone Ages, it was simple. The man goes out, he makes whatever the fuck he makes. He just needs to be able to take care of his family, right? So the man goes out, bruh, whatever you make is your business, but there needs to be, you better bring back a boar that's large enough to feed at the very least your family, right? We got hunters, we got gatherers. That's what we got. If you gonna hunt, get your ass out there and kill something, bring it back for the village, everybody's happy. Ladies, y'all gather some fruits and some berries, and you make some clothes, and you carve some arrowheads, and you make it so that we have everything that's necessary, right? Everybody's doing their part. Everybody's happy. Problem we got, this is a very modern problem, because modern women want to get to the point where they don't have to do a thing. Oh, I want to sit back and just rest on my laurels, simply because you're a woman who may or may not be pretty. Because funny thing now is that all of a sudden ugly women think that they have the same rights. Anyway, that's a different. Is that a different conversation? No, it's not a different conversation. But ugly women have the nerve to think that, oh, I'm ugly. I look like the bottom of a fucking shoe, but I still deserve for a man to take care of me and all the rest of this stuff. Like that. This is a very modern society problem, where women think that they can have the dog. They can actually sit in a society and literally check out of the life game. They grow up, children, high school, graduate high school, may or may not go to college, but after they're 18, they can check out and be like, hey, I'm done here. Thank you. I am pretty enough. I have a shape. That's all you need. You don't need no other skills. You just need to be pretty enough, have a shape. It would help if you knew how to talk. Meaning it would help if you were able to hold a conversation. By the same token, nobody really gives a fuck what you got to say when you're pretty, right? Shut the fuck up, be pretty, meet me in the bedroom in 20 minutes. Nobody cares what you have to say, right? So you can literally check out of the life game. And a lot of women feel that they can do that. A lot of women feel that they can do that. More than should. And I'm not even talking about should because of your weight, or should because of your face, or should because of whatever other attribute. 72% of women in the United States work. 72% work. So why is it that so many women get to, and they feel that they are so special that they should be allowed to, like I said, check out? Because this is not something that a man can do, right? This is not something a man can't just say. This is nothing that a man can really aspire to. Yes, I know. Again, there are anomalies. There are one-offs. There are outliers. There are Stepmans in the world. Right? Stepman gets with Oprah. He don't have to do nothing. He can just sit back and chill. Those people do exist, right? Kevin Federline, I think that's his name. Whatever her name was, Britney Spears' ex-husband, right? Yeah, but by and large, this is not a realistic expectation for a man. Any 18-year-old girl, this is a realistic expectation. Just go and hang around some businessmen, or go and hang around some athletes, go and hang around some actors, and whatever the case may be, and you can literally get picked out of the lottery. Like, I will, that bitch. No, not you. Yeah, the bitch behind you. I'll take her, right? Everybody's happy. Boom. She gets to live the life of her dreams. He gets a pretty woman on his arm. Boom. Everybody's happy. But average, everyday chicks are somehow thinking that that should be their life too. So first is the money. We already talked about the money. The whole idea of not, and let's okay, I'm just going to jump past the level up part. Let's just talk about the settling issue. The concept of settling. Guys, Again, like I said before, information is in. Dudes are not having it. I'm talking about black dudes, but other dudes too. Dudes not having it no more. They're not dealing with women saying that I'm not settling. Because again, that same woman who says that, oh, if I get with this guy who makes, what did I say, it was $42,000? He makes $42,000, but this guy makes $60,000. She wanted a guy who made 100. This guy don't make 100. He makes 60. And all that whole, he got to have ambition. Shut the fuck up. He makes 60. 60 is what he is going to make. This is what he is going to retire, maybe at like 63. But essentially, he's going to be nearing about 60 until probably the day that he retires or dies or something of something like that, right? Now that woman feels that she is settling for that guy who makes 60. That's a bit problematic. That's a bit problematic for a lot of reasons, but the most important reason is that that man that she just said she is settling for, by stating that she is settling, that automatically means that he is definitionally less than, right? Oh yeah, you are a whole human being, but you are less than for me. Seems like a problem, right? I would imagine that seems like a problem. Because imagine a guy said something like that. A guy said something like that. He'd be ostracized. He'd be a pariah before he entered that sentence. That's not the case with women. Women get to say whatever the hell. Guys are not going for that shit no more. So that same guy who makes that 63 or whatever the hell he's making and has to listen to that woman say, oh, I'm settling. That guy's now saying, fuck you, bitch. Go settle. You don't want to be settling with me, but go settle. By all means, go settle. Go find somebody who's happy find someone who's happy for you to remind them and constantly throw in their face that, oh yeah, this ain't really what I wanted. Pretty much, that's how life is in general. So I don't want to make sure things that everybody's on the same thing, everyone's on the same wavelength. In general, everyone is. I don't even want to use the word settling because the word should be compromising, not fucking settling. Life is about compromises. You decide anything that you want to do in life is about compromise. Adults know this already. This is something that we should be teaching our children at a very young age, but adults should have this lesson down packed before age 18. If your children don't understand this before they get to high school, I don't know, you're doing your children a disservice. You can't tell your children, what is it that you want to do? I want to be a professional football player. Cool. You can be a professional football player, but then you're going to have to compromise. You are going to have to give some things up in order to get this. You want to be a professional football player. Cool. So when you come home from work and school, when you come home from school and you've done your chores and you've done your homework, you don't play video games. You get your ass outside and you run some fucking drills. That's what you do. You go to the basement and you hit the weights. That's what you do. You sacrifice, you compromise on fun, happy times so that you can get the payoff of making it to be in whatever sport that I just said that I don't even remember right now. You want to be a doctor. You can be a doctor. In order to be a doctor, you need to have good grades. You don't go party and go crazy and blah, blah, blah and all that stuff. No. You come home, you do your homework, you do your chores, and you pick up a fucking book so you can goddamn study on some shit that you're not even taking right now. You're studying up on classes that you're not even fucking enrolled in. You're studying up on classes in high school that they don't even offer at your high school and won't even offer until goddamn college because you're dedicated to your fucking field because you know what you want to do. That's the sacrifice. why is this confusing? How is this confusing when it comes to goddamn life? Because women, if you want the guy, I never understood this from women. I never did. I never will. But the idea that because a man has a lot of money, somehow, I understand why that would be attractive, right? I get that part. I definitely get that part. But the idea that because a man has a lot of money means he's going to give it to you, I never got that part. I never understood that. I never understood that. Like, bitch, you broke. Sit there and be broke. That's about it. You broke. You see somebody who got more money than you and you want to go and glom onto whatever it is that they have. But you're making the assumption that, oh yeah, well, he's got money. He sees that I don't have money, so he's gonna give me the money because he knows that I don't. What the fuck does he get for his money? Oh, I'm gonna give him some pussy. What the fuck world do you live in? It's 2021. Pussy, you can get a triple shot of pussy for way less than what the fuck you hoes are out there offering. Way fucking less. You can, okay, let's just be honest about this shit now. You can right now go to, just type in fucking escorts, I guess United States escorts or whatever. You gonna get all kinds of fucking stuff. You can get there's websites where you go and get hoes less than $80. Oh, but those bargain basement hoes, you might get the disease. Okay, there's websites you can go and get hoes for $250, $500, $700, $1,000, $1,500. It probably maxes out at around $2,000. I'm talking about for an hour. $2,000 for an hour. What is he gonna get for that range? $80 to $2,000 an hour. First thing he's gonna get is someone who knows what the fuck they doing. Real simple. He gonna get somebody who, this bitch fucks for a living. She sucks dicks for a living. You don't think that she suck dick better than you? What? Bitch, first of all, the only people, let's just get this shit out of there. Every woman that every man has ever talked to, except for his mama, because they don't have those conversations, unless it gets weird. Maybe you grew up in Mississippi. I don't know. But only people who give you women reviews on your pussy are the guys who trying to get some more pussy. That's it. So, of course, they're going to tell you, oh, girl, you got that wet, girl. You got that shit. You got that yummy, yum. No, you all don't. No, you don't. Stop telling yourselves that shit. Can we put that fucking myth to bed? No, the fuck you don't. No, all of you, logically, all of you bitches cannot have the best pussy. What the fuck does best mean? All of you cannot have great fucking vagina. So, he's going to get someone who's objectively got better pussy than you do. Because again, she does it for a fucking living. Oh, well, her shit going to be fucking blown out. You don't want, bitch, you don't want to have that conversation. You don't want to have that conversation. Talking about blown out pussy, because at the very least, hers is blown out because she's been using it as for her job. Yours is just blown out because you just like motherfucking dick in undergrad. That's a big difference to me. Not to mention, you go to them and they got like reconstructive surgery, rejuvenation surgery, all kinds of shit. Y'all goddamn women ain't gonna do so much as take a motherfucking vinegar bath. Get the fuck up out of here. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit from y'all. So 1, she fucks better. 2, she looks better. What? Ain't no $80 bitch gonna look better than me? Okay, but what about the chick who $2,000? You don't think that the chick who's matter of fact, you ain't gotta believe me. You ain't gotta believe shit that I tell you. Go on to the goddamn websites and look and see where do you rank. Where do you rank? Take your pussy, and we're gonna take your pussy and just put it on the fucking board of just random facts. Like, where does my pussy rank on the pussy ranking scale? Right? Let's just put it out there, right? So I know I'm better than the hoe who's selling shit for $80. Okay. What about the girl who sell it for $100? What about $300? What about $400? What about $1,000? Do you really think that all of y'all are worth $2,000? Like, let's be honest about that shit. Honest about that shit. It's not the case. That's not the case. First of all, let me explain something to you. First of all, that's not the case because you don't get to determine the fucking value of your pussy. It's not how the marketplace works, ladies. We're men. Since we buy, we get to determine. Right? How can I put this so you can understand? A Coach purse. Coach can release a purse that costs $15 million and have it sit there and tell y'all this is the price, $15 million. That's the price of the purse. Ladies, will you buy the purse? No. Because you know good and goddamn well that shit ain't worth fucking $15 million. Because you can go over here and get a fucking Coach purse for $500, $800, $200. We already know that. So that means your pussy is not as rare as you think. And since you all are the ones who are constantly diminishing the price of the pussy, you can't get mad at us. You can't get mad at us and be like, girl, I know my shit is worth this, that, and the other because what? But it's not 1915 anymore. So in order for a brother, so that be like 1915, yeah, whole houses have always existed. Always. In what did I say, 1915? 1915, they had the peep shows, they had the whole houses, they had the burlesque shows, they had all of that. That they did not have is OnlyFans. That did not exist. They did not have Pornhub. They did not have xnxx.com. They did not have RedTube. They did not have YouPorn. They did not have all the rest of that stuff. And magazines still exist for some weird reason. I don't know. If you dragging off with magazines, that's fucking weird. I don't get that. Why would you still have magazines in 2020? Whatever. I'm not gonna kink shame. Some people like the way the fucking pages fold. My point is, women, you've priced yourself out the game, and now you get upset when goddamn men are like, no, we good. The one thing that y'all thought that y'all had over us was the pussy. That's the one thing that y'all thought y'all had. You're a heterosexual male, therefore, when it comes to fucking, you only got one option. And that's women. Well, that's true. You do only got one option. You've got women. Problem is, bitch, I don't need you for that. I don't have to go to you. There's way more that I can deal with. I can deal with a woman who's beautiful. I can deal with a woman who's fit. I can deal with a woman who simply just shuts the fuck up. I can deal with all of that. And guess what happens when I'm done? I can bid her adieu and she leaves or I leave, depending on how y'all do y'all situations. And even if the guy doesn't want to go buy it, he still has the option of saying, I don't want your ass. I'll wait for the next. That's what guys have. We've got the option of saying, I'm good. I'll wait for the next. We don't have fucking internal clocks and shit like that. That doesn't work. A guy can make a baby well into his latter years. Women, that's not the case. You just have a biological, your biological differences. That just is what it is. That's not a good, bad. It's not a value judgment. That simply just is what it is. Right? So now you bring all of that and you talk about the guy who doesn't make enough money. And not to mention he doesn't make enough money. That same guy who doesn't make enough money, he still has to meet whatever other criteria it is that you have for that particular guy. Okay. What exactly are your other criteria? Ladies, what exactly is your other criteria for the guys? Because we've already talked about the money, which is the number one criteria. The number one criteria is the money. Obviously, the more criteria, the longer this goddamn criterion is, the more people you get off of that list. Remember, we already started with 75. 75, a guy making 75,000, you've already X'd out. You've already taken out 30. No. You've taken out 64 guys. So out of 100, you only have 36 options left because of the decision that you made. You wanted a guy who made over 75. That's what you said. Okay. Fine. 36. You have 36 left out of 100. Just that quick. We still haven't counted for the gay guys, the guys who are married, the guys who are in relationships, the guys who simply are just not attracted to you. But we've got 36. What's your other criteria? Your other criteria is that he has to be what? What? You tell me. He has to be attractive? That's rather subjective, but okay. He has to be over a certain height, or at least a certain height. Okay. Again, ladies, here's another problem. Because by and large, women want men who are over 6 feet tall. Problem that comes with that is that there's a whole bunch of issues that come with that. But the number one problem with that is that the average man is 5'9.5". The average man is 5'9.5". That is all men. Black men are no taller or any smaller than any other man. Black men and white men are the tallest men of the men that are on the earth. Black men and white men. The shorter men would be Asian men, Indian men, so forth. Right? Even Hispanic men are a little bit shorter. So, of the people on the earth, black men and white men are among the tallest. Take from that what you will. That's just a fucking whatever. So fine, yippee-ki-yo, yippee-ki-yay. He has to be over 6 feet. Well, that's going to take away significantly from your 36 men that's left. Significantly from your 36 men that's left. Being over 6 feet is going to take away from that. Why? Because being over 6 feet means that you are well over the average height for a man. Well, we're not talking about 5'10", 5'11". No, you are well over the height. So it's safe to say we can bring that 36 down to 25 easily. You got 25 guys left out of 100. You still got 25 left. And we still haven't taken out gay people. We haven't taken out married people, people in a relationship. We still haven't taken out people who simply are not attracted to you. And we only got 25 left. So, what's the other criteria? Ladies, what is it? What else do you want? Explain that part. What else do you want? Because you've only got 2 pieces of criteria that you put, ladies, at the top 2. Again, if you're saying that this is not my top 2 and that anybody who put those is crazy, okay, got it. But we're talking about the top 2 across America, black women, 2021. Actually, the survey was taken back in 2020. But the information of women of today. Men who makes more than $75,000 a year, and men who are over 6 feet tall. You all are at choosing 25 men out of 100 just with those 2 options. Just with those 2 options. So now let's take out the gay men. We're going to take the gay men out. Okay? So, according to the census, roughly about 14-18%, depending on what information you look at, is gay. Okay. Cool. So that means we're going to have to take out about 7. Wait, hold on. What did I say? 14 minutes? No, that'll be about 4. Let's just make it 4. Make it 4. We're going to take out 4. So from that 25, we're going to make it 4. So we got 21 men who are straight. Heterosexual men, meaning they align with you, right? Okay, sexually. We haven't taken out the married men. We haven't taken out the married men and the men who are in relationships. We haven't taken them out. And also the men who just would not be interested in you. Simply because you have a vagina does not mean that a man will be interested in you for the sake of marriage, being a spouse, whatever. It don't even guarantee that he's going to want to fuck. So, let's just be honest about this. We've got 21 left. Right? Cool. 16. Let's just make it 16. So we took away 6 guys who were, what did we take away? 6 or 5? 5 guys who were in married or relationships or just simply were not interested in you. So we got 16. 16 out of 100. It's a problem. That's a very big problem. Especially when you consider that you have to spread those 16 black men across the entirety of the United fucking States. You'll have to put one in Atlanta, one in DC, one in Chicago, New York, LA, Louisiana, Dallas, Miami, North Carolina, right? So you got to spread these dudes out. So now you have a very big issue if you want to talk about proximity. If proximity is anywhere close to being in your doggone criteria, you fucked yourself. Because not only do you need to find a unicorn, you need to find a unicorn that's in your backyard. You aren't even willing to go find the motherfucker. So, based off of those just two simple criteria that black women say that they want, by and large, as a group, you're shooting yourself in the fucking foot. And we wonder why our community's not working. Wonder why our community's goddamn not working. Black women, number one for being alone. And being alone and dying alone. Over age 60. No attachments. It's black women. Why is that? Because these women, our black women, far too long have told themselves, and even worse, told the children, that it's better for you to go. I can do bad all by myself. Let's put an end to that shit right now. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can do bad with a fucking spouse, a partner, a long-term committed relationship. Doing bad by yourself means you're doing fucked up. Because when you got a goddamn spouse, you got a partner, you have a long-term relationship. Now you've got somebody you can lean on. Now you've got somebody that can help you. Now you've got somebody that you can rely on, they can rely on you. So those down days, at your darkest, at your worst, you've got someone to help you. When you do it by yourself, you are not simply just doing bad. Oh, you are fucked up. You were beyond fucked up when you're just doing it by yourself. So let's just get that shit out the fuck up out of here. That I can do bad about myself. And women, y'all been preaching that same bullshit. Y'all been believing these Tyler Perry movies. Y'all have been believing these goddamn I can't think of her names, but believing these goddamn books and believing these songs. Y'all are listening to these songwriters and you're listening to these doggone people, these women who are sitting here selling you a bill of goods that's telling you, you know what, you ain't got to do this, girl, leave, and why would you do this, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, the entire time, not only are they married, they're staying with their husbands through all manner of bullshit, and you are sitting here ingesting all of that fuckery and foolery into your brain whole time by your fucking self, because you want to live your life according to some words off a fucking song. You want to live your life according to a goddamn bumper sticker. You want to live your life according to the words of a fucking Medea play. I can do bad all by myself. It sounds cute. It don't even fucking sound cute. It sounds fucking stupid, but in practice, it's even dumber than that. Now, we've got a fucking community. Well, do we have a fucking community? Can we say that we have a community? Can we honestly say that we have a community? We got one in 4 women ain't getting married. Just another statistic, just throwing that shit out there. 26% of black women married. 26. Which means 3 out of every 4 black women ain't married. Ain't married and ain't gonna be. 3 out of 4. That's a problem. That's a national emergency. That's a very big problem. We're quick to talk about the white people and everything white people need to do and this and stuff and reparations. Okay, cool. Fuck is the point of having reparations? We ain't even got a goddamn community. Can't have no goddamn community if you don't have no fucking family. You can't have no goddamn family if you women continuously tell the men that the men are not needed. If you continuously tell the brothers that, you know what, we good. We make just as much, if not more money than you do. And since you only value the man for his money and his dick, you don't need men, is what you think in your minds. You don't need the man for the dick because it's 2021. Come on now. We all know that you got vibrators and dildos. You got websites. You got adamandeve.com. You got it's so many. Why even Jack and Jill and fucking, it's so many goddamn sex websites out there for you just go and bash it and have all kinds of fun. All kinds of fun. Oh shit. You can suck and fucking lick and stick and twerk and work and pop and lock and you can do whatever you can do whatsoever you want to yourself with somebody else, have somebody else do it to yourself, then whatever. So okay, fine. You don't need the man for the physical pleasure of the dick. Cool. Granted. You don't. So that only leaves the wallet. If you feel that you only need the man for, who cares if I got, who gives a damn if I got a man? Shit, girl, I got my degree. I got my master's. I got my PhD. I got my license. I'm making 125. What I need a man for? Psh, if he ain't making as much money as me, what I need him for? Psh. Okay. But then you go and you raise that boy child that you have, or even if you don't have children, you put that energy of men ain't shit out there, and then you wonder why the community is what it is. A community raised by broken, angry, toxic women, and then you wonder why the community is what it is. And then you take no responsibility for your part in it. This is just ridiculousness. You take no responsibility for your part in it. Yep, men, we've got a part to play. But I'm not talking about men right now. I'm talking about women. What are you doing by way of saying this is what I need from a man? Just imagine that. Would your daddy qualify? Let's just be honest. Come on, let's just break this shit down to brass tacks. Would your father qualify? If your grandmother had, your mother or your grandmother, whoever in your family, if your mother held the same standard that, the man has to make X amount, the man has to be fill in the blank, whatever that criteria is, would your father qualify? That's what I want to know. If your father would not qualify, that's a problem, isn't it? That's a problem. The fact that so many women, your family members, wouldn't qualify. You said no? That's a problem. I know my father wouldn't qualify. My father wasn't shit. So the fact that so many men wouldn't qualify is a big problem, because that's how we get into toxic femininity. When women think and they feel that, that was back then. That was back in those times. That would be back in the 80s, 70s, 60s. It's not. That's not. Because still, even today, like I said before, when it comes to what men teach our young boys, daughters as well. But when it comes what did the value that a man brings to the child is not in his goddamn wallet. It's not. It's not. I have a pretty decent. Honestly, let's just be honest. I have a pretty fucking nice life. Let's just be honest about that shit. I got a very nice life. I'm not rich by any means, but I have a pretty nice life. When it comes to goddamn my value, it ain't my goddamn money. It ain't the benefits that come with that shit. It's the information that I give to my goddamn children. That's the shit. The value that that a man brings. How do I know that? Because growing up, none of the men in my life were balling out of control. Nobody. They had some nice jobs. Some of them. Any of the men any of the men who are directly responsible for imparting knowledge into my life. Matter of fact, like I said before, my father ain't shit. So in my and he wasn't there. So in my mind, there was a group of men, specifically there were 7 men, that made up like a Voltron type of a father for me, right? It was 7 men that made up that global father. So me looking at their actions and all of them imparting their knowledge to me and talking to me and teaching me and showing me stuff, all of those gentlemen, that amalgamation of those men is what I looked at as a father. Okay. Of that group, nobody was balling out of control. In that group, you got men who were making somewhere between like 30. Honestly, actually, you probably had a group who was making somewhere about 25 to like 70, 80. 25 to 70 and 80, right? Growing up. So now, granted, you need to scale that back to 1980s and 1990s money, right? So in the 80s, made somewhere between 25 and $70,000, $80,000. Cool. When it came to them imparting knowledge into me, never did any of them tell me that my manhood was based on how much money I made. Not one of them. And that conversation never came up. That was never implied. It was definitely never said out loud. And I've heard a couple of them argue down women when they would say something fucking stupid like that. Why? Because that's a very dumb, stupid thing to say. It's a stupid thing to think. It's a dumber thing to say. It's even worse to say in front of a fucking male child. Or actually, fuck the fact that it's a male child. A male or female child. It's just fucking stupid. Reason why it's goddamn stupid, like I said, none of them imparted, hey man, in order to be a man, you need to make some money. You need to make $50,000. You need to make $75,000. You need to make as much money as you possibly can. Never. Never. Not once. I will never give that advice to anyone. That's fucking stupid. What does come about when men talk to young boys about being men, when the financial conversation comes up in respect to a boy acting as a man, it's you need to take care of your family. You need to be able to take care of your family. Whatever that is, you need to be able to take care of your family. If you got to get up off your ass, go out there and remember when people was, I don't even know if you can still do this, take cans and redeem them for like 5 cents or 2 cents, whatever the case may be, but like on Roosevelt and Cicero's where they did that. But that's what I heard. You're a man. A man takes care of his doggone responsibilities. So if you need to go out there and you do that, that's honest work. You go take care of your doggone family. If you need to work 2, 3 jobs in order to take care of your family and your responsibilities, that's what a man does. Those are the financial conversations that I got. Live within your means. Don't keep up with the Joneses. That's the information that men impart to young boys to be men. This whole idea of women, like I said before, in that toxic femininity shit, telling boys how they need to be fucking men is goddamn ridiculous. There used to be a time where women knew for a fact, I can't teach him how to be a goddamn boy. But now, all of a sudden, in this goddamn culture of we don't need a man for anything, I've been hearing the same shit since I was born, or at least I've been able to understand what those words meant. I'm 41, be 42 this year. Been hearing the same shit. We don't need a man to do anything. A woman can do everything just as good, if not better than a man. No, the fuck you can't. I can't teach a girl how to be a girl. I have 2 girls. I can't teach them how to be girls. I can teach them how to do some feminine shit. Can't teach them how to be girls. Same way that a woman cannot. You cannot teach a boy how to be a fucking man. It is impossible. It is just you understanding how it is to be a man is you might as well try to explain to your son what it is to be white. You don't know. You have no fucking clue. You can speculate based on your perception. You can speculate based on your perspective of watching from the outside looking in, but you don't know. I don't know what the fuck it feels like to be white. I don't know what the fuck it feels like to be a billionaire. I don't know. I have no clue. So I can't teach someone how to do it. I can only go off of the visuals of the stuff that I see on TV, the stuff that I see in everyday life, the stuff that I think how it should be done. But unfortunately, women, black women, have told themselves that they can do it and they don't need brothers. We got to do better. We have to do better. That's almost an hour and a half. Okay, so that's it. That's it for this, I guess, pre-show. This is, like I said, this is just a pre-show. This ain't the real what's called. I'm still working on everything for the podcast. Ooh, yawning. That was rude. Sorry. So, still working on everything for the podcast. But, yeah. If you liked it, didn't like it, leave a comment. Tell me, hey, JT, I don't, whatever. I don't agree with you. I agree with you, whatever the case may be. If you want to put something in the thing like, hey, man, I don't exactly like the visual setup. Well, you can talk about the visual setup, but the visual setup for it won't look anything like this. I'm doing a lot of work with the graphics and stuff. And, yeah, I'm not going to release stuff like I'm not going to piecemeal it. So once everything gets together, then I'll release that all at the same time that I launch the whatchamacallit. So it'll be a whole launch and blah, 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 all the rest of that stuff. But yeah, that's it. Thank y'all for listening, and y'all have a good one.